Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to Morning Trust, the devotion for Nigerian citizens, the morning devotion for Nigerian citizens. Today is day 1, and this entire week we're going to be talking about and meditating on the value of trust, the concept of trust, keeping one's word. Today's topic in particular for this first day is why trust matters. Why trust matters. For today's devotion, we'll be taking our reading from 3 sources. The first is the Bible, the second is the Quran, and the third is African philosophical compilations. So for our first reading is from Luke chapter 16, verse 10. It reads, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." Here the Bible is talking about what people demonstrate in little things, like how to know, who you can trust, who will keep their promises. In the Quran, the Surah An-Nisa, verse 58, that is the 4th book of the Quran, verse 58, the Quran is talking about trustworthiness, amana, trustworthiness. And it reads, "Indeed, Allah commands you to render trust to whom they are due." Here, the Quran is enjoining, Muslim faithfuls to always act in obligation to their trust to those who they are obliged to do so to, whether it is in terms of, business transactions. Whatever trust position you hold, you're expected to fulfill that trust position. Render trust to whomever they are due. In African philosophy, there's a proverb which says, "Truth is like fire, it cannot be hidden forever." Here, this proverb is associating trust with truth, and essentially is, emphasizing on the fact that those who live lifestyles of truth, are preferable to those who live lifestyles of telling lies. And it's a warning, really, because it's saying that when we choose the path of telling lies, we'll be exposed. Which means, exposed means that, it's not a desirable quality. The lies will be exposed, the people who tell them will be exposed. Nobody desires that, so nobody, wants to associate with that. So we should opt for lifestyles of truth. So let's reflect on these, as we reflect on these readings in the context of citizenship and nationhood. Back to the question, why does trust matter? Why does it matter that you trust me and I trust you? Do we need it? Do we need it in the home that we live in the community, in the marketplace, the markets we go to, in our business transactions, in customers between, owners of organizations and providers of products and services? Why does trust matter? Why do we have to have it? Why do I have to trust you? Why do you have to trust me? Why must I trust my neighbor? Why must I trust my leader? Why? Because, dear Nigerians, when you think about the entire social fabric of this country and all the interactions that make up that social fabric is all the compound of social interactions happening at different levels. And whereas they say we're 220 million people, think of all the social interactions that bind 220 million people together in family settings, friendships, school, businesses, professional settings, in the marketplace. All of those interactions depend on one single element called trust. Yes. Trust is the glue that allows for cooperation, and exchange in all of those relationships. The fact that I believe that you will keep your promise, that you will honor your obligations to me, is why I'm cooperating. You see, this whole cycle of cooperation, that's what we call social fabric. This whole cycle of cooperation is standing on the pillar, one single pillar, trust. I will keep my promise to you, you will keep your promise to me. So I keep coming back, I associate with you, I deal with you, I buy from you, I work with you, I live with you, I exist with you, I listen to you, I am influenced by you. It's all trust. The child trusts that the parents can be depended on, that what they are saying is truth, that they will feed them, they will clothe them, they will protect them. The employer trusts that the worker has the skills and will apply the skills efficiently, honorably, credibly. The worker trusts that the employer will honor his own responsibility and obligation to him or her by paying as at when due remuneration, by providing conducive. We are all trusting ourselves, and that's why we keep coming to this space called cooperation with each other. I trust that my neighbor will not breach his or her boundary, will not harm me, will not attack me. That's why I allow myself to stay in shared space with my neighbor. And if we're in a shared compound, I trust that they will, honor the quote and unquote terms and conditions of that sharing. Don't make noise. They won't make noise. They won't waste, they will switch off the pump, the water pump. They won't enter my house and take my things. We are trusting ourselves. That's why we can exist with each other. Because of that trust. My leader, I follow him or her. I am influenced by him or her. I abide by the rules set by him or her because I trust that they will honor their obligations to me. And once I don't trust anything they are saying, I'm yimming them. I don't follow them. When they set rules, I'll re-examine, I'll check the rules. Does it pay me? Does it not pay me? Which one can I, avoid performing? Worse, I stop submitting to their leadership. In other words, I become a leader unto myself. So this idea that all of us suspend our individual powers to be submitted to a central authority is broken, because I don't trust them to do for me, to provide for me, to protect me, to safeguard me. So I begin to provide for myself. I begin to protect myself, safeguard myself, negotiate for myself. I have become my own leader. And what happens? Fear. That is the beginning of the breakdown of nationhood. Nationhood ends when we stop trusting each other. Fear begins to grow between us. That mutual distrust no longer allows for cooperation amongst us. There is no longer guarantee that I won't injure your interest. I won't act injuriously towards you. And there's no guarantee that you won't do the same towards me. That's how society slowly breaks apart. That's the beginning of the doomsday. So it's not something to trivialize or casualize. Trust? No. It's the guarantee that the rules which bind us will be effective. Because all of us just have that shared belief that, yes, this person will abide by the rules, this person too will abide by the code. So all of us. So think about when increasingly people stop abiding by the code and nothing is done about it. We now see that, we can't trust ourselves anymore. So we become self-governors, entities, self-nations, self-territory. So it just becomes a territory of competing survivors, not a nation anymore. In a family, when they don't trust each other, nobody is working towards the good of the family anymore. Everybody is pursuing their own self-interest. The family has broken down. It cannot produce, quality members who act with a shared value system. The workplace, everybody's just scrambling. We're all scrambling for what we can take for ourselves and how we can protect our own little acquisitions. there's no longer any code that binds us. The employer can sack at will, will not follow any due process. Because all the rules have broken down. All the rules have broken down. And that's where the real fear is. Trust is the glue that keeps the rules working. That's why we must do everything. So the question then becomes, what happens when trust has broken down? When members no longer trust each other? When we no longer trust our leaders? Should we still be trustworthy? Should we still be obeying the rules? Abiding by the terms and conditions, quote and unquote, of the union? Of the shared cooperation? Should we? Ask yourself, have you noticed that even when you are bad, when we are bad, we are still looking for trustworthy people? We are still looking for a bank that can hold our money in trust, a good bank, or a safe place to keep all your wealth. Are you not still looking for a trustworthy person? You are still looking for a trustworthy security person, gate man, to guard your property. You are still looking for a trustworthy worker as an employer to hire. You are still looking for a trustworthy person to teach your children, to put your children in their school. You are still looking for a trustworthy person, to cook your food. Even when you are bad, even a thief is still looking for a trustworthy cook. We are still looking for trustworthy people. So, a society will always be on the lookout of human beings. As long as it's human beings there, will always be on the lookout for trust. It's wired that way. Because it's only when I can trust that I can live safely. That, you see, because the brain is a survival machine. That I have a sense that, okay, I can stay here. I can be with this person. We are always going to be looking out for trust. That is why, increasingly, more than ever, in a period when trust is broken down, we must rise up to be trustworthy. We must rise up to be trustworthy. Because the human being, when push comes to shove, is going to always be on the lookout for somebody that they can trust. May God help us to keep our promises. May God help us to abide by the rules that foster and enhance mutual cooperation. May God help us to act with integrity at all times, where our actions are consistent with our words. Dear God, we thank you for a new day. We thank you for another opportunity to experience life on earth today. Help us to live purposefully, kindly, contentedly, brilliantly, and fully. Guide us, protect us, teach us, correct us, and inspire us. At the end of today, may we bring glory to your mighty name and to our great nation, Nigeria. Amen.